Acolytes. An acolyte actually fondled this one sneakily into my eye holes. Good job on this one. And actually, I didn't even know that V changed his name to Romanian TV. I don't know if his old channel got banned or something, but gonna look it up at some other point. Let's just see what this is about.
Jordan Peterson went on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he had
Yeah, exactly. Jordan Peterson. I always forget his name, but yes, Jordan Peterson. It's
something interesting to say. Now, what I find fascinating is that a lot of people prove him right by dismissing what he has to say because it's from Jordan Peterson.
fair
This
enough.
is the way that modern people do critical thinking in 2025. Like, when they hear a statement, two things go in their head. Number one, who said it? What's his name? Who the fuck said this? Who said it? Someone from my side? Okay, then maybe it's a good thing. Someone from the other side? Well, you're a fucking imbecile because you listened to that guy from the other side. Don't you know what he said like 3 months ago? How can you support that person? What the fuck? You know? Like, have you heard this on the internet, right? This is critical thinking. This is how we're going to trade down.
He's correct about that. Yes, there was a lot of people. There is still a lot of people who actually believe this. This is why I always say, acolytes, do not swing too far on one side. I expose myself to every side, no matter what. Even though I tend to go a specific side, but I just hear out every single one. And if you're hearing me and you're a fan of mine, or my acolyte, my little cute necromancer, or undead servant, probably, then hey, good. I am actually quite happy. And I am so happy that people actually disagree with me. Some in private, some in comments. Continue that. Thank you, acolytes.
Doctors and engineers. The other way of thinking is like, does this benefit my side? Yes. Well, then okay, you know, it's a great take, hot take. Does it make me think? Does it invalidate my worldview? How the fuck can you think like that? What the fuck is wrong with you? You know? And the reason for this is that the internet right now encourages clickbait, encourages outrage culture, and so this is what actually gets retweeted, right? So what exactly does Jordan Peterson say? And I know, I shouldn't Jordan Peterson, but don't you know what he said? Like, I don't fucking care. Let's analyze what the man said.
Fair enough.
He basically said that he thinks the right wing is going to get actual psychopaths. He said that he doesn't like the term woke right. Doesn't agree what James Lindsay said. He said that James Lindsay noticed something there, but didn't diagnose it properly. He basically says that psychopaths exist in the real world. Like, these individuals are out there. And these individuals gravitate towards power. Because you can be a psychopath without getting any punishment. So, for instance,
Yes, fair enough,
think
yes.
about it when the
Yes.
left was in power, right? If you're a person that was with Antifa, chances are you could be unhinged. Like think about during the huge censorship on social media that started. If you were far left, I mean, you could dox, you could intimidate, you could threaten, you could harass, you could do all that shit, and there was like nothing bad happening to you. You would get away scot-free. So people on the left, during Jack Dorsey's Twitter, you know, proverbially, you could run people over with their car. Meanwhile, anyone on the right wing, they would get shot down for a broken taillight.
Correctly. And by the way, this is just how it's still to these days, to a certain degree. It gets better from day to day. But I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't risk it to tell this too loudly in Germany. Yeah.
Now think about during the pandemic. the people that were pro-vaccine, they
Yep,
could say whatever
true.
the fuck they wanted. They could demand that the military just chase down people that are breaking quarantine and vaccinate them by force. They could say literally the most unhinged thing. They could dox people. They could threaten people
Yep.
to call them to the authorities if they see them out sunbathing.
Yep.
Right? And so if right-wingers get into power and then you have a consolidated group, it is inevitable that the psychopaths are going to join the ideology, not because they're right-wing, not because they believe it, but because it acts as an umbrella to shield them.
Correct.
They're
Yes.
taking advantage of the idea that, okay, if this is from my side, I need to show leniency. If it's from their side, I need to show contempt. And this is how the internet works, right?
Yep.
The interesting thing is that this is actually part of the system. Like, this is how you have a two-party system, and you have, like, the Republicans for, like, 10 years, and then the Democrats, and so on and so forth. It's because when you are the mainstream culture, right, you impose your rules on society.
Correctly.
And the people that are against you, they are the ones that start looking reasonably. Because the people in power, they lose quality control. They're not afraid of getting banned. They're not afraid of getting suppressed. They're not interested in negotiating. They're not interested in debating. They're interested in force. And sometimes they're even interested in sadism.
Yep.
And so one part, like during the woke ideology, remember during peak wokeness, one part looks completely unhinged, completely disconnected from reality. And this also happened during the Bush era, by the way. People trying to push for intelligent design and people trying to, like there were actual Christians that bombed abortion clinics and stuff like that.
Correctly. Yes. Good that he remembers that. I actually wanted to mention that. Because yes, this is always the case if a side gets way too extreme. Try to stomp the extremists in your effing group. I mean, the pendulum swings anyway, so you alone cannot do that much. But point those out. Tell them they are unhinged. Tell them to get the F off. And hope that we get psychiatric wards back.
That's not good optics. I know, like, I see on Twitter a lot of right-wingers going, base. That's not good optics. Like, the soccer mom doesn't like that shit. I'm just saying, like, Jesus Christ probably wouldn't bomb people. I'm just, putting it out there. I understand, but notice it only happened in America, right? Like, this shit doesn't happen in Europe, not happening in China, not happening in India. It's happening in the Anglosphere, right? So, like, the side that's in power gets unhinged because it loses quality control.
I disagree with that. This shit definitively happens in Europe. He's talking bollocks here. We don't have a two-party system here, but it may as well effing be. Because the coalitions are basically the exact same thing. If you have a coalition, you basically have a two-party system. Because there are the people that agree with you, with the strongest, and those who disagree with the strongest.
It doesn't hold itself to any standards. And so, like, the other side begins trying to form opinions, trying to look reasonable, trying to attract the soccer mom and the other people. And then the wheel changes. And so the question is, like, why do I think this is happening in the Anglosphere? Why do I think that this is happening more in the United Kingdom, in Australia, in the United States? More so that it happens in Poland, Hungary, Romania. I think that the main reason is that...
Oh, he meant the Slavic countries. Okay, yeah, that's fair enough, yes.
It may be a little bit due to the denomination of Christianity, which is Protestantism, and the whole clinging to the universal morality thing, right? Like the idea that you have access to life's cheat codes. And if everyone follows the same cheat codes, then we get to the land of milk and honey. But only if every single person on planet Earth thinks the exact same as you do. And so there's no more context, there's no more negotiation, there's no more debating. You're right, they're wrong, flat out. And so this inadvertently leads to conflict. But the problem is that conflict is not sustainable. Like, no one can lead a moral crusade 24/7. Eventually, after a couple of years,
Fair
people
enough, yes.
get bored of it. The ongoing side loses steam, and then the other part gains power. Again, I think this is maybe because of also a two-party system. It's not something that can be prevented. This is not me moralizing and saying it shouldn't happen. This is me saying, yes, it will happen, and after that, things will change. It will happen again. After that, things will change. It's like a cycle.
Fair
And again,
enough, yes.
most of it is that there is no willing to debate, no context. The idea of you're a good person by attacking others, demeaning others, trying to show that you're virtuous because other people are lesser than you, right? So not doing actual acts of charity or compassion or empathy. In fact, these words are actually bad, like compassion, empathy. Like, no, this is moral failure.
Yep.
What is good is to attack other people so that by extension people think you're good because you're cleaning up the dredges of society. And this is part, I think, of mainstream culture, especially the internet nowadays, which facilitates this. Like, the internet currently facilitates outrage, clickbait, negative emotion. We don't have the internet where you have like wholesome cat videos, spice of life, rage memes, comics. All you have now is soy jacks, like focusing on culture war, incredibly ironic takes, demeaning people, right? And so
Fair enough, yeah.
I do think like Jordan Peterson is up to something, because I remember a story that I heard from one of my parents. They said that when they were in university, there was this economics professor that was incredibly left-leaning. I mean, this was happening during the communist era, and she was the one that would rat out students to the party members. She was the one that would get people in trouble. And she was like one of the most hardcore, quote-unquote, commissars that existed. And then the political time changed, and we had the communist revolution, the anti-communist revolution. All of a sudden, she's teaching civics, and she's teaching about democracy and capitalism, and she's a huge anti-communist. And like, this is what Jordan Peterson is talking about, right? Like, it's not that she has convictions. She's power tripping. She enjoys being on top of other people.
Yep, fair enough.
And so, whatever ideology allows her to power trip, she would do it. Like, if Islam came to Romania, she would become a Muslim. If communism came back, she'd become a communist. And there's plenty of examples of actual writers and thinkers in Romania that were extremely anti-communist. And then when the communist regime came, all of a sudden they're socialists, all of a sudden they're promoting communism, all of a sudden they're attacking other thinkers, other people that are from their brass but didn't toe the party line. And yeah, it's just like the natural order of things. I think like the only negative issue is that now we have social media. And for the first time in human history, like being a psychopath is encouraged. Like up until now, the reason the woke ideologues were so aggressive and were managing to get away with so much shit is because like within their community, within their clique, being woke was encouraged. Like you would get brownie points, right? And so even if someone didn't want to be a psycho,
I mean, it didn't change until this day for the most part, so I'm not gonna say here and say that those are innocent little efforts. I mean, as I said, the pendulum swings back, and these days you have way more of those types of people that actually talk like normal human beings. But it's still a rarity. And I would not bet on it anytime soon.
psychopath, like, because like even psychopaths, like they get burned out. You're being psychopathic to one person, and then you chill But if you're on the internet and you get a dopamine rush whenever you're psychopathic and you do something nasty and your entire group cheers and applauds and shit like that, well, that person is going to have now an incentive, positive feedback to keep being psychopathic. And so, yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe in the future there's going to be more self-awareness or more moderation. Like, maybe people will just get tired of the same moral crusades. Like if at one point people notice, wait, we already did this like 10 years ago. Like, we already, like, why are we doing it again? You know, like, it didn't give any positive results. It didn't end up with actually accomplishing the goal. Like, the moral panic came and went and some people grifted out of it. Like,
Yeah.
why are we doing this again? Maybe if you know, in a couple of generations, if people think like that, right? Like they'll say, well, hold on, we already had the Me Too panic. Like, that didn't end up actually accomplishing what it intended to accomplish. People grifted out of it. It was a complete shit show. You know, the anti-racism panic was there. Blah blah blah. Like, if someone was to think like that, and then maybe change the culture, maybe, but I don't think it will happen in the.
No, I don't think so. There will be mistakes repeated again and again and again. I think that still that we are in an age where information gets saved way easier. So maybe this will be going forward rarer and rarer. But for now, I think for the next 200 years, I just don't think that the thinking will change that extremely well, basically in the in that direction. We will still have a lot of times where we will repeat mistakes as human beings, and maybe in some point. But until then, acolytes. I mean, I will still live, but you know that's just how a lich does. But probably it won't. But let's see.
Next 10 or 20 years. No, I think we're just going to get more of the same. The tools are there, the tactics are there, the people are there. It's just that it's going to be like different different reasons. You know, like how you have like the Me Too panic, and you have the anti-racism panic, and you have the transphobia panic. Like, it's just going to be like that, but with right-wing stuff for a while. And then the left will take over and we'll get more left-wing stuff, and then the right will take over and more right-wing stuff. I think it's just the natural order of things. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I agree with him on the most part. This will just repeat more often than not. At least for a really, really long time. But yeah, all in all, I can't really disagree with him on anything that hardly. Yeah. As it is, acolytes, good night.